Hey everybody, good morning. Oh, that tastes so good. So welcome back. Thank you very much for coming back for part 2. Today we're going to finish off getting that Euro Elk Head up on the garage wall, so stay tuned. Okay, so before we get started, I wanted to talk about real quickly the mount that I'm using for my elk head. This is from the taxidermist wood shop. And I settled on this one for a mount I have here in the house, which I'll just show you guys how that's mounted there. And the reason I wanted this, because you can see the small post right here, I wanted the elk head close to the wall. I didn't want one that was a 12-inch and hanging way out here. You know, just math, the farther weight is away from the wall, it's gonna wanna pull that off the wall, you know, depending on the size of the lags or bolts that you're putting through the plate to a wall. So that's why I settled on this one, and it worked fantastic for the one I have on the wall. I'll get some clips of that and show you there. Here is the base plate that will go on the back of the skull. There's 2 little screw holes right there, and it does come with 2 screws in the package. Put that to the back of the animal's head on the back of the mount. And then when you mount this to the wall, then it'll slide back in to a certain spot there. And then the base plate itself has 2 holes right there. Doesn't come with the mounting hardware for this, so you gotta decide if you're gonna use some bolts or lags, whatever it is. What I do like about it, that's obviously too small, that little hole for a lag bolt. But it's pretty much pre-drilled, so it's pretty easy. I'll just get my drill bit out to the size of the bolt I'm gonna be using today and drill that hole out a little bit before we mount up on the wall. For inside the house, I use lags, and you just have to match up the right size hole there to get the lags through. And yeah, that worked out fantastic. What you do gotta be careful for is that this hole right here, it's really close to the top of this post. So if you had a really long lag, might be difficult getting that lag past the top right here. Maybe at a slight angle, you could, but I'm really happy with this one on my last elk mount, and that's what we're going to be using today, the taxidermist wood shop. That's what it looks like there. Good, solid metal too. I do like that. That's not hollow, that is solid. So it is super windy in Wyoming today, so I'm actually gonna bring the elk head inside here in the house, just make it a little bit easier for me. Pre-drill the holes and get the base plate onto the back. One thing you wanna do, you kinda just wanna take your setup and make sure that it will just fit on the back of the elk head, and make sure the post does go into the spinal cavity of the head. So just kind of prop it in there, set it in there right, and should fit just fine, but make sure you do that first before you drill on the plate onto the skull, and then you come to here and it's on the wall, and you mount this on the wall, and then this won't work and won't fit, and then like I said, it comes with 2 little screws. These do fit through these little holes for the base plate there. So it's a good little setup. Just wanted to show you this cool little thing I picked up yesterday. Jackson Hole Steelworks vodka for some Bloody Marys. But look at the picture on the inside. Isn't that cool? Bison. Yeah, so if you don't know, I did get a bison this year. Here's the link to that. Go watch that series. It turned out to be successful. It was tough, but go check it out. I mentioned that I had a elk mount on the wall here in the house using that same fastener system. Here you see it behind me. Nice big 6-point bull I have here on the wall. I'm going to show you the fastener system, what it looks like right here. See how close that is to the wall? 2 screws are in back of the head there. That post is through that spinal cavity, and that is solid. So this elk right here was a deadhead that I found when I was out horn hunting. That was 2 years ago. This thing scored out to 365. Perfect brown. I found it in the woods like that. Got it all tagged at the fishing game, and just really cool, and it looks so good in the house. But you could see how close that head is to the wall, and that's really what I was aiming for when I looked for a mount. And luckily I stumbled across that mounting bracket here from the taxidermy wood shop, and yeah, it looks fantastic. Okay, so like I said, I want to check the plate first onto my Euro mount here. Here it is, the elk. I got it in here. Just gonna check the lineup, put this into that spinal cavity, just double check everything, make sure that this is going to work. Oh yeah, where we go. So as you can see, here's my skull, here's the plate, there's the post, I'm putting it into that spinal cavity there. This plate rests right there. There's a little bit of a gap, but that's okay, that's why the screws are about 1 inch. I'll put the screws right through these 2 little holes, drill them in right there, and voila. Now also, I can kind of hold it up here, kind of guess what it's going to look like with that base plate being flat on a wall. And it's about right there, so you can see where the elk should kind of sit, how far off the wall, the horns, in case they had a big G6 or something to them, which this one does not. But there is about level right there. Looks good. Okay, so now I'm gonna move on to drilling those 2 holes to put the screws in. And I'm gonna kinda get a little drill bit while the base plate and the mount is on there. Just mark the 2 holes, and then that way I could take the post off and then just have this piece mark the 2 holes, drill them, and then screw this on so I know what I'll be accurate with this. But don't just screw the plate on without having this in that socket, I believe, because if you mess up, you just don't want to mess up. Okay, so I have the base plate on the elk skull. Here you can see the base plate. I'll show you the gap that this has right now. So a little bit more of a gap right here, pretty tight right up here. And then most importantly is that does the post, make sure I got it right, yep, that's up. Make sure it fits in there nice and snug, and I'm able to actually get it in and out because I still have to mount the post to the wall. All right, it is so cold out here. I even got this big thermal insulated coat on, and it's blowing right through this. So, got a few steps to do, which I'm just gonna talk about right now. Here was the base plate. I gotta drill out these 2 holes to the bolt sizes that I have, which are 4-inch bolts, because I have the outside siding. Then there's some particle board behind that, and then the 2x4, which is 1.5 inches. So hopefully the 4-inch bolt with the threads on the back should be good. So I gotta drill this out, get it up there on the wall. Kids are out here driving monster trucks around. But yeah, so I'm just gonna get these drilled out. I'm gonna get up on the ladder, mark the spot where I want it, and so just kind of follow on with that. It's pretty simple. Drill the holes through the wall, mount it, put the elk head on it. Let's get it done, because I'm cold, man. I wanna go inside. There's my bolt. The drill bit, I'll get that drilled through these holes right here. Open those holes up, bolt will go through, and then I'm going to use this rapid feed spade bit to go through the wood and the wall, 1/4 inch, so that should fit the bolt. Looks good. Is it really just that cold here that it breaks off the tip of the drill bit? I still able to get the holes though, but good Lord, is it just a Wyoming or is it just a coldness thing? You gotta be kidding me. The holes are drilled, they fit my bolts, and now I just need to measure out where I want to put the elk up there on the wall, put a spot there, drill some holes. All right, so the mount is up. It was perfect, going right through the 2x4, got lucky. Had to bring my wife out here though, because it's a bolt, not a lag, to hold one side of the bolt tight while I was tightening it on the inside. Now it's the moment of truth. Let's put the elk head on the wall. Well, there it is, folks. It is on the wall. I packed that thing around for 16 years, and it's on its spot, its resting place. It looks so much smaller now that it's on the wall and it's up high. It looks so small. But hey, it is kind of small. It's only a 290. So I'm super stoked. It's up, simple to do. I'm ready to go in. It's a little nippy. But we'll take that little light that's on the garage there. It's like a little fake motion light, and we actually want to put in like a nice big dome like garage light right there. Just kind of touch it off. A few lights on the side. We're gonna paint these doors different color. So this summer we're gonna make a few upgrades here. Just kind of touch it up. We actually want to restain this garage. It'll look so good. I think that looks so good. I'm so stoked that I had that for so long. And there it is. My little Colorado 290 bull elk. Of course, when the sun does come down, what is it, like 2 o'clock right now, and in the summer we'll have a little bit longer sunshine. The browns will start to turn white, you know, it'll turn into a nice faded chalk 3 level horn in a few years, maybe even one summer, I don't know. We got a lot of hot, bright sun here at 7,000 feet, but it looks good right now. I like it, even once the horns turn white, it just looks cool. So I'm super stoked. Awesome, let's get inside and let's warm up.